What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Brain Waves. Man, when we tell you that this world is fake and we tell you that this world is evil and that most people are on demon time, we got an example right here. You see, there has been a Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis. And the irony of this is there's two students that are dead, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, 17 injured, right, including children and staff. And what makes things crazy is they literally were in prayer. They were literally praying. So what I want to do is kind of break the news, because we also had a situation right here in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. For those of you that don't know, I also work in public safety in the school system. So anytime stories like this comes out, it's very important. And it just seems like nobody cares. It seems like not many people really want to talk about this situation. Why? Because it has nothing to do with their community, especially when it comes to Black content creators. A lot of Black content creators will probably duck and dodge this story because they believe this took place in a white neighborhood. But there were Black students that actually goes to these schools. So one of the things I want you to actually see is we're going to take a look at a breakdown of what took place, and we're going to hear from the mayor in Minneapolis, and then we're going to kind of go into some other things. And then we're also going to hear about the shooter, because these shooters be on demon time. They be on demon time. Their whole MO is just demon time. All right, let's go.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. Children are dead. There are families that have a deceased child. You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster.
And that's something that I want y'all to think about. What if these were your children? What if this was your school? What if this was your baby mama school? Your baby mama kids, your baby daddy kids, your grandkids, your neighbor's kids, somebody you know, somebody you love, somebody you care about. What if it was their school? And y'all wonder why I work in public safety in the school system. Y'all wonder why that's what I do. Because situations like this, man, this is something that those of us that are in law enforcement don't ever want to see. Those of us that are in the school system don't ever want to see. And I'm pretty sure those of you that are parents, you don't ever want to see this. And mind you, yes, right, school just started. They were literally in the midst of prayer. And this took place while they were praying. But let's go.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. Is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. Is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Now, what do you got to say about that? Because you got content creators that always like to be like, well, these kids, this public school system, etc., yada, yada, yada. They wasn't in the public school system. They were in a private school. And yet this takes place. See, what people got to understand is this has nothing to do with whether your children are in the public school system or in a private school. These school shootings are taking place regardless. You know, a lot of people will make content and say that because it's the public school system, that everybody's on demon time, that they're all a part of the system. Listen, y'all, this is a bigger issue. And this is something that all of us that have children can relate to. Those of us that care about our kids. Now, you got some people that don't care about their kids. Remember, I've heard all types of conversations, y'all. Y'all be surprised of the people that are out here in this world. They be on demon time.
These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them. Love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions, all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly. There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak to make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you. This kind of act of evil should never happen.
Facts. This is pure evil. This is pure evil. And people should be cognizant and appreciative of the safety that they may have with their children. Because some schools, while we're on this subject, some schools don't actually have security or any type of safety measures other than the actual teachers or what have you, the principal, et cetera, because it is what it is. And when we say that, we're talking about at the younger level. You know, we pretty much would think maybe middle school and high school will have that, but a lot of times at the elementary level, they don't have that in schools, private or even public. So this is a very big situation that everybody that has kids, whether they on demon time or not, their kids go to these schools. And the last thing we should deal with is having to be concerned about our children. It's enough hell in this world. It's enough spell work in this world. It's enough demons, witches, narcissists, gang stalkers, monitoring spirits, etc. It's enough fake people out here that we got to deal with. And the last thing we need to deal with is this issue in the school. We already got to deal with our children being influenced in the schools and dealing with this and other kids. It's enough. But to deal with them not being around, man, it's a whole nother level.
Happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN, O''HARA. I am the Minneapolis police chief.
I want y'all to listen to the police chief struggle when he's speaking. Because if you're human, if you have any type of heart for kids, this is tough, man. You got a lot of people faking the funk. You're going to have people that's going to avoid this story. Anyway, let's go.
Today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church. Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized by this senseless attack. We will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
So I'll tell you, man, this whole thing is crazy, okay? Because what we actually had was we had a we had a situation here in Spalding County in Georgia, in Griffin, Georgia. Listen, today.
Now to some more breaking news here at 4. A student is in custody after firing a gun in the bathroom of a private Christian school. The Spalding County Sheriff's Office says it happened at Skipstone Academy in Griffin. Deputies believe the student was intending to hurt himself. That student is now being evaluated at a hospital. We're told no one was hurt, but Skipstone has canceled classes for the rest of the week.
Now you got to stop and think. This was a private school, 2 private schools, okay? 2 private schools, 2 so-called Bible-believing schools at that. Not public school, Bible-believing schools. And look at what happened. Y'all see that? 2 Bible-believing schools, private schools, and this took place. You have a Catholic school, you have a Christian school. You got 2 different states. I'm telling you, when things like this happen, you generally have copycats. Right? Let's see if we can get some more info on this. And I got info on the shooter, too.
Good afternoon, everyone. To any of our students and families and staff watching right now.
You see the black person right here in the background. You see that there's black people that go to this school. Because you got some content creators that will think this is only a white issue. No, this is a community issue. Just like how things that are taking place in our government. It's not a white issue. It's not a black issue. It's a community issue. Because everybody lives in the community. Let's go, man.
I love you. You're so brave.
And this is the principal that's speaking.
And I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the dream team. And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever has to experience what we've experienced today, ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns, never again. We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray.
Notice how he said an African proverb, right? So this is a multicultural community. Y'all got to understand, here in Minneapolis, at this school, you have white folks, black folks, green folks, yellow folks, blue folks, all types of people. You're going to find news reports and stories of everybody saying this hits home, right? This is what's going on. These folks on demon time need to get up out of here. This is why when people talk about, oh, it's such a bad thing when the National Guard is coming through, something got to be done to get these demons up out of here. They got to go.
Move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers. Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done. Archbishop Hebda will be coming next.
I want y'all to see that this is a multicultural community. You got black officers, you got black leaders standing with the mayor. You have, look, a black interpreter. This is a multicultural community. Okay, I want people to stop thinking, oh, this just took place in the white community. This got nothing to do with us. And you got some people, ironically, there's content creators who say that they're talking about the community and they're all about the community, but yet they duck and dodge situations like this. Let's go.
Thank you, Principal DeBoer. I'm so grateful that Mayor Fry and the chief both mentioned how valiant you and your staff were. I'm so grateful to the pastor here at Annunciation, Father Dennis Zarin, for the deacon, Deacon Kevin Keneally, also were heroic in this time. But how sad it is, for sure, not only for the families who are directly involved, but indeed for families everywhere who feel the threat that comes from an event, a tragedy like today's. I would never want to correct a principal, but Principal DeBoer said it wasn't so clear where would be the source of hope. And brothers and sisters, we have to be men and women of hope. Already today, I've been receiving messages from all over our country promising prayers. And I think it's the prayers of the feet as well, Principal. That is, for me, is a source of hope, just as we see families stepping forward to help those who have been impacted by this terrible tragedy. Very grateful that Principal DeBoer spoke about prayer. Certainly that the bell in a Catholic church is always a call to prayer. And so it's a reminder for us, for sure, to be praying. And we have to recognize that it's through prayer and through that prayer of the feet, through that action, that we can indeed make a difference. That has to be the source of our hope. I was particularly pleased today to receive a message from Pope Leo. If you'd bear with me, I'd like to share that with you. It comes directly from Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's the Secretary of State, and it reads like this. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV was profoundly saddened to learn of the loss of life and injuries following the shooting that took place at Annunciation Church in Minneapolis. And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy, especially the families now grieving the loss of a child, while commending the souls of the deceased children to the love of Almighty God. His Holiness prays for the wounded as well as the first responders, medical personnel, and clergy who are caring for them and their loved ones. At this extremely difficult time, the Holy Father imparts to the Annunciation Catholic school community, the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis, and the people of the greater Twin Cities metropolitan area his apostolic blessing as a pledge of peace, fortitude, and consolation in the Lord Jesus. My brothers and sisters, that gives me some hope. We know that the Holy Father, Pope Leo, did his hospital training right here in Minneapolis, so he knows our community, and he's been reminding anybody visiting from Minnesota that he spent some time here. We're very grateful for his blessing, but I, like those who have spoken before, ask that you would continue to look for those ways of supporting those who have been impacted today, not only with your prayers, but also with your action. Thank you. And Chief, I now turn this back to you for your...
So that's that. Now let's take a look at some information about this shooter, okay? Because we got details about him. Let's go.
Yeah, hey there, Julie. As you were talking about some of those diaries that they were posted online, video of handwritten diaries using Cyrillic or Russian letters to write out English words. We've been working to get some of that translated. We actually have an intern on staff who speaks Russian. This has kind of been slow going, but our team has been able to translate some of Robin's diary entries, and we're not going to go into a lot of what was written because it was so extremely violent. But the first and a few of the last entries in one of the diaries really do give some context to this mass shooting. The picture you're looking at on screen is in that diary, and the words on the top of the screen say, using Russian letters, say Annunciation from memory. This is a hand-drawn sketch of the school, and he writes that, on August 21st of this year, that he visited during teachers training. The teachers were in the basement, and he wrote discussing how they're probably getting active shooter training, and that he writes, I'm sure they won't be expecting an attack in the very first week.
And this is one of the reasons why I do what I do, because while staff, while teachers, while everybody else is getting training, I'm actually keeping my head on a swivel. I'm making my presence known. I'm visible. I'm out there. So, I mean, that's what we do. Not all schools have this. And it's funny because you could pay attention to the amount of viewers that are here. It just goes to show you how many people are on demon time. There were people that came into the building. They see this story, they walk back out. Why? Because they want to hear some gossip and some drama. They want to engage in sin. They don't care about children. They don't care about the Most High. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about what's right. They just want to hear a bunch of garbage. I tell you, man, most of this world is evil, but let's go.
Back on May 23rd, Robin wrote an entry describing just an obsession with mass shootings, specifically school shootings. Robin writes about having memories of the obsession dating all the way back to 7th grade, and discusses talking about mass shootings with friends when Robin was very young, and how it was even reported to adults at the time. Then on August 20th, in one of the last entries, Robin writes about visiting the church and plans to carry out this act.
Now, when people like me as a content creator make content and we expose and we rebuke in Christ's name certain content creators who stand behind violent acts, criminal acts, they are inciting rage, inciting violence, they're being racist, they're being discriminatory, y'all turn a deaf ear. It's like y'all don't care. Y'all support the same criminals. Y'all support the same people that have this type of ideology, the same type of people that want to fight against the government in the wrong way, not the right way. There's proper ways of going about things. Y'all want to support them. When I say y'all, that's what y'all do because y'all showing your actions. But when it comes to actual situations that we need to address it, just like with this guy, the information is there. Nobody want to stand up and do anything. And you wonder why the situation happens. Because people be on demon time. They're like, oh, we hear it. Oh, well, we ain't doing nothing about it.
On August 21st, a final entry in one of the diaries discusses practicing at a shooting range leading up to what was described as the mission. Again, we showed you that one sketch. We are not going to be showing a lot of what was posted online. We really do not want to glorify what happened, but this is some of the context that, we're learning about, whatever motivation there was. We know Robin appeared to have gone to the school for at least a year in junior high, and Robin's mother retired from the school, it appears, from social media posts in
So his mom retired from the school and he went to the school himself. And this is what I be trying to tell you. It be people that be in these churches, people that be in these hypocritical communities. They be in, they might say they're a Catholic in this case, a Christian, a Hebrew Israelite, whatever. They follow the Bible. You think because they quoting scriptures, making videos, acting like they following Bibles, but they be on demon time. Just like Robin was on demon time. Y'all see? And you'll see them step away from the faith. You'll see them step away from being doers of the word, regardless of what they say, just like you see here. But do you think people are listening? Nah, y'all don't want to listen till something bad happens. And then when something bad happens, y'all be like, whoa, oh, you're right. It's like nobody want to take accountability anymore. No one wants to expose and rebuke people like the Bible says anymore. You wonder why this world is filled with so much evil like this.
2021, we've heard from a number of folks who said that, she was a long-time employee there. That is the tie to the church and school. But the real takeaway here is it sounds like Robin visited the church and school within the last week or so while teachers were there training for the upcoming school year. And it appears the suspect planned this event for the first week of school, seeming to think that people wouldn't be prepared.
And it do be crazy during the first week of school. Like I said, I work in public safety in the school system. First week of school everywhere, it's just crazy. Parents trying to get acclimated, kids trying to get acclimated, staff trying to get acclimated. Everybody's trying to get used to it.
AJ, it seems too that in those writings, my understanding is that he was really obsessed with school shootings for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Robin wrote about this obsession dating back to childhood, and it was something that they talked about all the time. And again, this one page that we are showing you in the video, the hand keeps bringing this knife down and stabbing the school, or stabbing this drawing of the pews there in the church. And as we said there in the top right corner, that says Annunciation from memory when spelled out, kind of using this Russian English code.
And again, this is somebody whose mom worked at the school, at a Catholic school. So we're talking about a Bible-believing school, a private school, not a public school. And this guy, Robin, himself went to this school, and he still was on demon time. I be trying to, listen, when content creators like me call out other content creators to be on demon time, all y'all do is go run and support them. Y'all defend the demons. So if somebody runs to support and view and like and financial donations to demon, that means you're on demon time too, because you're not calling them out, you're not rebuking, and you're not making it known. This is what happens. A lot of these people get hacked by demons. They be on demon time. And they be sitting up here quoting scriptures, acting like they going to church, doing all these things, and they be the most wicked people. And this is what happens when people don't listen, when people like me blow the whistle, when people like me follow the Bible and expose these demons. These are the type of situations that happen to all of us. We all got to suffer.
That it appears Robin was using to write these diaries.
Well, and AJ, I'm wondering too, there's a video that's going around social media as well of just a cache of weapons that have various things, hateful sayings, some addressing the president, just all kinds of different sayings.
Do you see how there was hateful speech against the president, against other people? You got content creators on YouTube that I've personally called out that literally got video intros, hate speech, incites the whole audience against the president, against other groups. Has inner racism. They be racist against their own ethnicity, let alone other ethnicities, and y'all just sit back and let all this stuff fly. And the result of it is casualty and situations that destroy our community like this. And it's like, when I make videos like this, nobody want to hear it. But if I had some drama to talk about, I have 1 million people in the building right now. It just shows how evil people really are as a whole. Most people don't even care. Let's go.
You've been able to verify that video?
That video does appear to have come from the same YouTube page that we have been able to confirm law enforcement is looking at and believes to be that belonging to Robin Westman. As you saw, I mean, it's...
Do you see this guy has a YouTube page? This is what I be trying to tell you. That Robin Weston is a content creator. This is why when I make these videos to expose these content creators, y'all got to start listening. Y'all got to take this seriously. See, y'all not going to take it seriously until something bad like this happens. When something real bad like this happens, then y'all going to listen. Come on now. We got to start getting real. If we want the change, we got to be about the change.
It's all over social media. We've, made a decision that we're not going to show some of this, but there are, clips for weapons written out, as, for the children, just truly horrible things. As you mentioned, there does appear to be some political references to the president, and just an obsession with violence.
Again, political references to the president. I keep trying to tell you, you better watch out for these content creators that's like super anti-Trump, super anti-MAGA. A lot of these people are evil. I keep trying to tell y'all don't be listening, man. Y'all don't be listening.
AJ, you mentioned his obsession with former or past school shootings. Do we know if law enforcement ever got involved back then when he was a child or when he was talking to other friends about it? Because you mentioned that other friends even brought it up to adults, perhaps. Do we know if this was ever vetted back then?
We don't know that. The police chief earlier today said this individual did not have much of a criminal record. Now, you'd be going back a number of years, it sounds like, when this may have been raised to adults. And again, we're getting that information out of this translation of Russian to English coming directly from the suspected shooter. Some of the things that are posted in there are just so obviously false. It's hard to know exactly what's real and what's not. We can tell you what's written, but we do not know if this was escalated to law enforcement at the time.
Anything that you've been able to learn, we know that the mother worked at Annunciation for decades. Anything you've learned about the rest of the family?
No, we haven't really dug quite that far. We've really been, focusing on trying to understand some of what is, you could describe it as a manifesto. It's almost like a diary, and you can see video of it, flipping pages, and it's kind of slow going, starting to really get a grasp on this. We do know that the suspect here writes, that within the last week to 2 weeks, they were going to a shooting range and practicing. They wanted to, make sure their red dot scope was working properly. They were writing about trying to, find a proper scope to be able to see. And again, as we told you, it appears that a visit was made to the school and the church very recently, within the last week or two.
And my understanding was part of the practicing at the range was to make sure that he could ultimately kill himself at the end of this.
Well, I can't speak to that, Julie.
AJ, you were talking about this manifesto, or more like a diary, if you will. Is that what is written in those Russian decoder letters, or is this something different?
No, what I've been describing to you is what is written in this series of diaries that we see video of, and it appears it's in this almost like code of Russian to English. As I explained earlier, it's not Russian words, it's Russian or Cyrillic letters that spell out a English word. So here's an example I can give you. The word gun would not be the Russian word for gun. It would be the Cyrillic or Russian letters that spell out G-U-N. And that's what we're seeing. Why, we don't know. It's not clear if this individual was a Russian speaker. The folks that we've had looking at it seem to think that he may not, or she may not have been be fluent in Russian, but it seems to have been used almost as a code of sorts.
So we pretty much got the idea. This guy planned this. And then check this out. This is irony. I told you about the Spalding County gun found where a student tried to shoot today. Look what else just popped up. Breaking news in Barrow County here in Georgia. A bullet was found in the middle of the school. All during the first month of school. It says a bullet has been found at a Barrow County middle school. According to a letter sent home to parents at Heyman Morris Middle School, the district said the small bullet was found just minutes before dismissal today. We got 3 situations with schools today. Ain't nobody talking about it but me. 3 situations, 1 in Minneapolis and 2 in Georgia. When you have these shootings, you have multiples take place. So our kids everywhere, we need to protect and have prayers up for all of our kids. The district did not specify where in the school it was found, or if they had any information about how it ended up there. But it's just a fact that a bullet has been found in a Barrow County middle school today before dismissal. So when I tell you that we have public school, a Christian school, and a Catholic school, all bullets found. I'm telling you, man, this ain't no joke about what's going on. So, hey, I wanted to bring awareness. I wanted to talk about it. We need to make sure we moving right, and we need to actually support this type of content. Don't just let me report this. You just, let me go back to my life. Right? We need to be talking about this. We need to bring awareness to this. We need to be paying attention to people that's on demon time. That's why these demons, they got to get up out of here, man. It's a lot of demons. They got to get up out of here. Y'all be supporting these demons, giving demons a pass, acting, oh, they're righteous, they're okay. We got to stop being backwards and being evil by supporting the wicked people and not supporting the righteous. It's like everything is backwards. All the actual true righteous people, they don't get supported. But the demons, the true demons, people be supporting them left and right. Everything is backwards, man. We got to start bringing awareness and making moves to change this. So be on the lookout for potential copycats, because like I said, when this happens at one school, you have multiple schools. Multiple schools. This could hit children around us anywhere that we love and we know. So, hey, I brought awareness to this. Y'all make sure you share this. Y'all make sure you support this. I see that people ain't really interested in this, so I'm about to call it quits. I brought awareness. I did my job. And if there's any follow-ups and I decide to cover it, I will. Like, comment, subscribe.